Hello YouTube, this is the Copernicus and you're watching my Let's Play of the Direwolf20 mod pack Season 2. So I left you guys last episode letting you know that we were going to make a smeltery, which we are, and I cooked up a bunch of seared brick, which I told you is just grout in a furnace, and grout was just a combination of sand, clay, and gravel. And we'll get to that in just a minute. I've got a bunch here. I think we should be able to make one pretty easily. But before we do that, I wanted to ensure that we have cobble on hand for building structures and possibly building a house later. So what we're going to do is work with extra utilities. These are transfer pipes. It's really easy to make. I just had to find some redstone, which took a little while actually. So I got some stone slabs, glass, redstone. Gives me transfer pipes, and then just more redstone and a chest and some stone with a transfer pipe on top of it will give you a transfer node. And this is usually to move items from one inventory to another, so I could like put it on the side of this furnace and it would take out the ore after it had been smelted, and I could move it to my chest or whatever. But I've got a little bit of a different use for it. But we are also going to have to make one more thing for this to work. I think I need 4 lapis and 4 redstone or something like that. We'll see. It's called a world interaction upgrade. Nope, just 4 more iron. Okay, so 4 iron. Pick. Some lapis gets me a world interaction upgrade. This can go back. Alright, so I'm gonna make another barrel, I think. Or actually, we can just move this one. Just need, I think, 1 iron and some wood. And we can make, I must have did that wrong. Is that backwards? That's backwards. There we go. Making a dolly from Java, the same mod as the barrels are from. So with the dolly, you can right click a barrel and you can pick it up, and you move very slowly when you have it, but you can go and place it anywhere you want after that. So, and you can also do it with chests too, and some other inventories. So what we're going to do is I have some lava over there, but I also need a bucket of water. Did I keep my bucket around? Yes, I did. So I got my bucket of water, and I'm going to put a piece of cobble here, put some water here. Be nice if I had a pickaxe. Since we're going to be making a better pickaxe with a smeltery in just a minute, I'm just going to throw together a stone one. Okay, so lava and water just generate cobble just naturally in Minecraft. So what the world interaction or the transfer node allows you to do is mine that cobble, provided that you have a world interaction upgrade in there. And you can see cobblestone starts appearing. So what I'm going to do, I think, is just pop this guy right there, and you can see the transfer node connects up, and now you can see our barrel slowly filling up. So now we have pretty much infinite cobble at any time we want. We can just go here and pick it up. And there are ways to speed this up quite a bit, which we will be looking at in the future. But for now, I think that is plenty of cobble for our purposes. I just need it for scaffolding and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to cover this up even more, just so I don't fall into that at all. So now that that's taken care of, I can move on to bigger and better things. I'm going to keep my mod items in there. Okay, so now we're going to get on with the smeltery, the real meat and potatoes of this episode. So for a smeltery, the first thing you're going to need is a lot of seared bricks. And you'll also note that you get a book along with that called Mighty Smelting. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. Glitched out there kind of a bit. I think I'm just going to throw it down Just kind of right here. I don't really care where it goes, because hopefully we'll be moving before too long, and it's pretty easy to move, so I think we're going to go here. A good starting out size, you can do smaller than this, but a good size is 3x3. So that's what I'm going to do, and you don't need to fill in the corners anywhere. You just need to get the outside of it. One thing every smeltery needs is a smeltery controller. And good thing I cooked up a lot of glass, or some glass, because you also need a smeltery tank, or a seared tank. So the controller is kind of like the brains of the operation, and it's also where you put your items to be smelted. You can see if I right click on here, this shows the molten fluids, and this right hand side shows how much lava you have, which is what you use to melt down your ores. So I think I'm going to put the tank right over there. That's where we will be putting our lava, our seared brick. And to get the liquid ore out of the smeltery, you're going to need a seared, couple of things actually. One of the things you'll need is a smeltery drain. And to get it out of the drain, you need some sort of liquid transfer. For this, we're going to be using a seared faucet. And you need something to pour it onto as well. So we're going to use a casting table. So this is set up like the following. The seared drain should have the large input on the inside and the small hole on the outside, which is where you stick your seared faucet. And that pours out onto your casting table right there. There's another block we're going to use for a different, besides the casting table, but we might get into that a little bit later in the episode. For now, I just think we need two more seared bricks. And you can see here, the smeltery just looks normal. As soon as we put this down, it should light up, indicating to us that we have successfully made a smeltery. And you can see now that that we have inventory space there. I need to go collect some lava, so I'm going to grab my tank, and I will be back in just a minute with some fuel for our smeltery. Alright guys, so it turns out there is some lava very close to my base that I forgot about, so I'll be using that. But what they intend for you to get, how to collect the lava instead of bucket by bucket in Tinker's Construct, is that you can actually use this seared tank that we have to use for our smeltery, and what you can do is take it with you, fill up I think 4 buckets of lava is what it can carry, and then you can actually break it and bring it back to the smeltery while still holding that lava. But 4 buckets, I mean, it gets you a ways, but it doesn't really hold enough for us. So what I'm going to do quick is grab a tank, and there's a bunch of different tanks from a bunch of different mods, but a real easy one is called the portable tank from Thermal Expansion, and it comes in a few different flavors, and it's just pretty much size. Like the portable tank is really easy, it's 1 copper and some glass, and then it goes up from there, being more and more, pretty much just upgrading it to hold more. So I think we can get to the second tier pretty easily. It's just the copper with the 4 glass, and you upgrade it with 4 Invar ingots. And Invar, if you kind of look through the recipe, it can be made with Invar blend, which is just 2 pulverized iron and 1 pulverized ferrous. So what I did was just threw some iron and some ferrous in here, ground it up. You can see here, I've been making some Invar, and then I threw it in the furnace, and bam, you got yourself some Invar ingots. So now we should be able to make the hardened portable tank. And you can see it holds 32 buckets of lava, or any liquid really, compared to the 4 that the smeltery drain would. And how you use it is pretty easy. You just place it in the world like you would any other block. Take your bucket, right click on it to fill some up, and you can see there now at the top it says 1,000 out of 32,000 millibuckets. And to take it out, simply do the opposite. Or if you want to carry it around, I would suggest making a crescent hammer here. Really easy, tin and some iron gets you this hammer, and it's used for a lot of different things. Like for instance, right now you can see the mode is in input, and if I just right click it, the mode is in output. And what that basically means is it will try to automatically output, and I'll show you that in just a minute when we get our smeltery up and running. And to pick it up with the liquid inside it, you just hold shift and right click, and there you've got your tank with liquid already in it. But I do not want water, I want lava. So I'm going to run up over here, hopefully before it turns nighttime, get us some lava. Oh, here we go. I think I'm going to sleep this night away really quick. As soon as it turns night. There we go. So this 32 buckets of lava will go a long ways in melting down all of our ingots and stuff that we collect. So let's try to find a nice safe place to collect lava. I know that sounds a little bit redundant. Okay. Sorry, horse. Had to do that. Alright, so I'm just going to sit here and pretty much do this until either the lava's gone or the tank is full, and then I'll meet you guys back at the smeltery to hopefully get us a little further in creating our own custom tools from Tinker's Construct. See you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so I got my 32 buckets of lava now, and we're going to dive right in and trying to get the smeltery up and running as fast as we can. So the first thing I want you guys to note, so here's the seared tank, it's empty, and here's my hardened portable tank with lava. And like I said about the wrench, this is what I mean by output mode versus input mode. So right now it's in input mode, it's trying to accept fluids from any side, and when you right click it, it's in output mode. Looks like it does have to be on top, I thought it might be. Right click it, it's in output mode, and it forces its lava into the seared tank. So you can see now the seared tank is full of lava, it's got 4 buckets in it, and we lost 4 buckets from our tank. So that was what I was meaning about input versus output mode. It just means you don't have to suck the lava from the tank, it will just output it automatically. So before we can get into making our own tools of metal, you need casts to pour the faucet, because when you output molten metal into this casting table, you need to define what shape you want, whether you want a pickaxe head, a rod, or hammer head, or an axe head. And to do that, we have to start more basic. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get a bunch of sticks and a bunch of wood, and you make this pattern with them, and you get 4 blank patterns. So we're just going to take a bunch of those. We'll need a ton of them. And then there's a few different kind of tables you're going to need to make your tools. So the first one is a blank pattern above oak wood planks. Gets you a stencil table and a couple of books. The next one is a blank pattern above an oak, any piece of wood, not planks. Gets you a part builder. And we're also going to want this chest with a blank pattern. Gets us a pattern chest. And I'm blanking on one of them. Oh yes, a crafting table. So this is all wood based, which is nice. Crafting table, blank pattern, tool station. So these are the 3 main assembly components for tinkers that lets you build your weapons. And this is kind of like the first tier, and then the smeltery is like the second tier. So we kind of went backwards here, but we need these to use the smeltery. So I think we want to have our stencil table. I think not this one. We'll put our pattern chest right there. Part builder, and then the tool station. So stencil table is pretty easy. You put in blank patterns and you get the patterns you want. It's kind of hard to see over here. I think there's something with the texture pack that I'm using, which is Faithful32 by the way. But you can see these outlines, and these you pretty much click and you turn your blank pattern into a pattern of that kind. So I know some of the ones we're going to need is a tool rod pattern, which most tools use. Tool binding pattern, which a few tools use. We're going to definitely want a pickaxe head. Definitely want a shovel head, axe head. What else do we want here? I think we'll wait with the sword. We might try to make a hammer. We'll just make a whole bunch of ones that we might need eventually, because it's better just to make them all really early game and then just use them as you need them. So I'm just going to make a whole bunch of different ones that we might use. Yeah, the only ones I'm going to wait on are the sword. So I think that's pretty good. Let's see. And if we throw all these patterns into the pattern chest, you can see they appear. The part builder kind of connects with the pattern chest so that you can see them in the inventory of the part builder, because this is where you use these patterns. And you could normally take these and, you know, oh, I want to make a stone pickaxe head, and then you could make it like that. But we're going to do something a little different. We are going to make all of these, so I'm just going to go through and make one of each of everything we have here. You'll see why in just a minute. Let's see, we used both of those. These larger patterns cost more. You can see the material cost is 8, so when I take one, it took away 8 cobblestone, which is fine because we have that nice barrel filling up the cobble for us. And some only take like a half, so you get your piece, but you also get like a shard that can be used for another one of those. Or you can see here, like this one takes a half as well, so I can use that stone shard to get that piece right there. And I think after this one, that's about it. So these can be placed in the casting table, and we need to pour some sort of metal around it, and that forms the cast for that part. So if we wanted, we'll start out with like a stone pickaxe head. And there's a couple different metals you can use, but I'd say the easiest one, I think you can use gold. But the easiest one I think would be molten aluminum brass. And what this is 3 parts aluminum to 1 part copper in the smeltery. Because when you turn your ores into a liquid form, they don't stay separate, or at least not all of them. They don't stay separate in the smeltery. They can combine to make new metals. So you kind of want to be careful about which metals you throw in there, and if you're uncertain, just do one at a time. So it's 3 parts aluminum, so I'm going to do 6 of these and 2 of these to start out with, because I only have 9 inventory slots to work with. So we throw 6 copper, 2 aluminum, and this is gonna, you can see here, they're slowly melting. We're using some lava. I'm gonna get rid of some stuff here. I've got a bunch more seared brick for improving our smelter in the future, but I can throw all these books in there and stuff. How's the process coming? And you can see they melt at different speeds too, which is really neat. The aluminum is much softer metal, so it melts very quickly compared to copper. And you can see there now, kind of as a visualization, you can see the molten aluminum in there and the copper still being melted down. But once it does get melted, you can see it all turned into aluminum brass, and it tells you that I have 16 ingots worth of aluminum brass there. So what you do is really easy. You just make sure you have your part on the casting table, right click the faucet, and you can see a really cool, I really like how they made the visualization of it pouring down, and it stays in aluminum or liquid form for a bit, but then it hardens. And when we right click, we can get our stone pickaxe head back, which we do not want, so I'm going to be just tossing these. But there is what we actually came for, the pickaxe head cast. So now if I wanted to, I could put this in the casting table, and say I had like molten iron or something in the smeltery, then I could right click it and it would fill in that blank part and give me an iron pickaxe head. But I'm going to take that, and I think I'm just going to, I'll make a chest to throw these in for now. We might do something a little bit fancy later, but for now we'll just, I don't know, pop a chest there and throw these in there. So I'm going to do this with all of these different parts and just probably sleep. But I'll be back in just a minute when I have all the casts and are ready to start actually making some tools. Alright guys, so I went through and I made all of the different casts. And I was deciding what metal I want to use to make my first few tools. And I decided that I didn't want to go with like iron. I've already had iron tools. I could make bronze tools, but I mean they're not that great either. And then I decided to go with an alloy from Tinker's Construct. if you see here, I'm using the book that I got from, what was it? I think Making the Smeltery or something like that. And you can see it gives you a few different alloys here. So you can see the bronze, the aluminum brass that we made. It tells you right here you need 3 aluminum and copper. Manulin, alumite, and pig iron. And I think we can do alumite. You can see here it's 5 aluminum, 2 iron, and 2 obsidian. And you might be wondering how we're going to get this obsidian. I know I have diamonds. I could use 3 of those diamonds for a pickaxe to go mine obsidian, and probably never use that pickaxe again. Because I would just use the obsidian to make alumite, which is better than diamond, I think. So instead, I'm going to get that obsidian a different way. There's a couple ways we can do this now. If you put water and obsidian into the smeltery, and you can do that via the drain, liquids can not only come out of the drain, but they can go back in. So if I used a tank or something and pumped like a bucket of lava and a bucket of water, it would transform into obsidian. But I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to make an igneous extruder. It's pretty easy. You can look at all these recipes. They're not too hard. Machine frame is just some tin, iron, glass. Copper is obviously just copper. And once we have that, I'm not going to put it really anywhere in particular right now. Just throw it right there. It does not need power or anything. What this does is it takes in lava and water and creates either infinite cobble. It just needs 1 bucket of each to make infinite cobble. It can make stone, which uses very little lava and water, or it can make obsidian, which uses 1 full bucket of each, as it would to make it. So what we're going to do is, first I'm just going to turn this off so it doesn't turn on while I'm showing you guys. How much am I going to need of this? I think just a couple for now. I'll probably also use it to get my nether portal up and going, but yeah, we just need 2, so there's 2 buckets of lava in there now. It's really easy. You just, as you can see, you just right click it with the bucket to get the liquid in there. You can see lava, water. If I activate this, you can see it start going. Again, it's kind of buggy because of the texture pack. I don't know why, but there's 1 obsidian and 2 obsidian. And what we're also going to have to do, we don't have to do this right now, but we also have to, we want to do something with this aluminum brass. What I'm going to do is show you guys how to get ingots out of that, because obviously if you smelt down iron, because like I said in the first episode, remember, if you just put 1 iron ore in here, you get 2 ingots worth of iron, so you don't have to manually grind them like we were before. Now I'll just be dumping them straight into here. And to get the ingots out, you can use any ingot really. You can use iron, you can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use a seared brick. I'm going to plop it down on there, you can see, and you make a cast with the molten aluminum, and you can see now I have an ingot cast. So when I right click on that, it will take an ingot out, harden it into aluminum brass, and then I can get the actual ingot form. So I'm just going to quick clear out this, I think. Any more? A couple more. I'm also going to grab the aluminum I'm going to need and iron to make my alumite for my pickaxe and axe and shovel and what have you. Okay, so that's taken care of. Looks like I have to sleep through the night again. So it's 2 obsidian, what was that? I can't even remember. 2 obsidian, 2 iron, and 5 aluminum. So 5 aluminum, 2 iron, and 2 obsidian. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have the perfect amount of inventory space here. You can melt it down, and once it gets turned into liquid, it no longer takes up this inventory space. So if you don't have enough inventory space to do this, you can put it in one at a time, melt it down. But thankfully, we have enough space for all that. And what we're actually going to do here in just a minute is expand the space that we have. So actually, while we're waiting for this, I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. I kind of want to add some certain features to mine, so I'm going to get a bit more of this. And let's see. There's a couple different kind of glass viewers you can get. That's one, seared window. And there's also the seared glass. I think we're going to go with the seared window, just because I have a lot of seared brick right now and not a lot of glass. So I think I can get, I don't know, about 3. It's nice to be able to see into your smeltery. And what you do is real easy. I don't want to use all that. You just build up from your smeltery to get it higher and more inventory space. So you can see, I think I'm gonna have my my cool little window section in the middle. So I'll put that there. Yeah, I should have enough. Need just a little bit for another thing I'm gonna do. Put another window there. You can see now, if we look, we have much more inventory space to work with, which is nice. I'm also going to break this one. And the liquid actually will stay there as long as you don't break your smeltery controller, because that's what stores your fluid. So you can make adjustments like this, even though you saw the liquid disappear. As soon as I put this window back, now you can see that our molten alumite is still there, and I put this window here so you can get a nice visualization of the liquids that are in there. You don't have to quite look at this to see which one is there. So after I munch on an apple here, we are going to remove this, and I think we'll just start off with a simple pickaxe. So we're going to lay the pickaxe head down, right click on that to get some alumite. So now we have an alumite pickaxe head. And you might be wondering how we know which parts we need. I happen to remember it, but if you go to the tool station here, which we haven't quite looked at, you'll see all these different things we can make. Right now we're just making a pickaxe, and you can see it requires pickaxe head, a tool binding, and a handle. So not too difficult whatsoever. And there's a lot of information out there about tinkers that I would let you guys look at. What I will say is the pickaxe head pretty much determines how much durability you have, how fast it is, and what it can mine. So I chose alumite, and it automatically has reinforced 2, which is like the enchantment unbreaking. There's a lot of things like enchantments in tinkers, but it's not quite, and you can actually determine what kind of upgrades you get or enchantments you get on your pick, and I'll show you that, if not this episode, the next episode. So you can see we have a pretty good durability, 700. Not quite diamond, but good enough for now. Mining speed of 8, that's pretty fast. And you saw we also need a tool rod and a tool binding. The tool rod I think I'm also going to make out of alumite. I'm going to get a couple of them because, these things take up 0.5 material, and I hate having, half extra in there. So now you can see we have an even 4 ingots. But for the binding part, I'm actually going to go with paper. That might seem super flimsy, and you'd be right, but it also does something else kind of cool. So what we're going to do, paper can just be made in the part builder. Pretty much any metals you want to make have to be made in the smeltery, but any cobble, wood, paper, any sort of soft materials. I know stone isn't exactly soft, but it can be made in the part builder. So we're going to get our tool binding, paper binding, and I don't think it actually shows you, but I'm going to make one out of stone just to illustrate my example here. There we go. You can probably just toss that little piece. Okay, so we're going to make a pickaxe. We want our alumite head, alumite tool rod, and this also, the tool rod gives, it modifies the durability. So you can see here it modifies it by 1.3, so it takes 700 and multiplies it by 1.3 to get the final durability, which is nice. And for the binding, all that does is affect what modifiers it has. Kind of like that reinforced that the pickaxe head says it has. So that gives it some unbreaking. And stone gives stone bound, which I believe the tool gets faster as the durability goes down. So you can see here our final durability is 909, mining speed of 8, with a mining level of cobalt. And there's 3 modifiers remaining. These are like pretty much like enchantments. Like we could put more unbreaking on it, or we could put fortune, or we could put, haste or speed or whatever you want to call it, efficiency on our pickaxe. So we have 3 of those left if we make this pickaxe. But if we take this off and put paper on there, we still have a durability of 909. We still have a mining speed of 8 and a mining level of cobalt, but we have 4 modifiers remaining. If you make any part out of paper, it gives you an extra modifier. So you could make this whole thing out of paper and you'd have 3 extra modifiers. But we still want some durability and mining speed and mining levels. So that's why I'm only using the binding, because the binding only affects modifiers are the modifiers. So like stone would give you stone bound and nothing else. It wouldn't affect durability, it wouldn't affect anything else. So gonna grab that alumite pickaxe, and I'm just gonna make the rest off camera. I think they're pretty easy. Like a shovel is just the head and the handle. Hatchet is just the head and the handle. If I decide to make anything different, I'm pretty much just gonna make these out of solid alumite and then upgrade them later, because I don't plan on using these very long before we even get another upgrade as soon as we get to the nether. So I'll make all these tools and I'll be back in just a minute. Wow guys, it is way past wrapping up. This is one of those little longer ones that I said it might happen. But the good news, we do have a fully operational smeltery. I've got all my different tools. But yeah, we got an igneous extruder going. We got infinite cobble going. Sorry, igneous extruder. Words are hard. I think we got a lot accomplished today. So next episode we'll come back and we'll probably upgrade our tools. We'll probably go to the nether to get even better tools, I think. And I think we're going to start working towards some form of flight. I like to be able to fly really early in the game. So hopefully, we can start building upon what we need to get some flight action going. We are going to have to kill the wither for that, so that should be exciting. Hopefully we'll upgrade our infrastructure too, more automatic things. I've been cooking up some more seared brick here. Quick note before we wrapped up, I said I'd show you guys this. This is a casting basin. It's made very similar to the casting table. I don't have enough bricks to actually show you guys, but it goes like, I guess I can show you this. So the casting basin is made like this, and all this does is instead of doing it one ingot at a time, if you pour, say, molten iron into here, it will form it into block form, so you get like a block of molten iron. So that's about all the time we have for today, guys. Hope to catch you in the next episode. Take it easy.